Okay, so thanks for joining today. My name is Brittany. We also have David on the call from support. We are going to be talking through the changes that we did or the enhancements that we had in 2025. This is not a full exhaustive list, but it is the highlight features that we did have for the year. We get these by taking feedback from you all if you guys have good questions or good suggestions on how we can improve the system, we put those on a list. And then as we are working through the year, we start to add those enhancements in. These are going to be in no particular order, and we will not be doing training on each of these items, but more of a highlight. If there is anything that you would like to know a little bit more about, you can email in to support to talk to your account manager. We have a list or we have help guide articles for each of those items as well. Or if you do need training after looking through the help guide to determine whether one of those is right for you, then you can email training@workamajig.com and then your scheduler will go in and set up a call with your account manager. We'll take questions after each little section that we go through. If you have any suggestions, comments, concerns, David will be looking through the chat and we'll go ahead and pause for those. So the first one that I'm going to highlight is going to be for uh, clients that have multi-currency, for one. And if you have multiple GL companies within multi-currency, meaning if you have a few different GL companies in the system that you're working with, you can actually set a different currency than your home currency for each GL company. Now, this is in labs, so you're not going to see it right away. It is something that does have to be enabled, but several of our multi-currency clients were looking for the ability of having one whole GL company in a separate currency than their home currency. So this now gives you that ability to do that. And again, this is the help guide article for it. If you type in multi-currency GL company or GL company multi-currency, this article would pop up. The next one is going to be our campaign snapshot. So a lot of clients have campaigns in the system. If you were familiar with the projects, there was a project snapshot. And that was something that clients used to kind of get a general idea of exactly where they were. So I'm going to open up the dashboard real quick. There is a snapshot. Usually down here, you have project snapshot and project profitability. So this is one of the projects. Well, now we have that ability to have a campaign snapshot where it gives you some of the general details of where we are with that particular campaign. And that was just added. So if you don't see this option and you are an admin, you may have to enable it. If you go into your more, you have system settings here. It is the bottom option here. Obviously, it can be for the whole company, or it could be for each individual security group that you have. But that enables, gives you that campaign snapshot. So if you liked seeing it for projects, it is now an option for your campaigns as well. So hopefully you can get some detail rather than having to jump out and run full reports. You get to see that right away whenever you are in your campaign. The next item, a little bit different from what we usually do. It is our custom welcome menus or welcome emails. So a lot of clients ask when I onboard a new client or a new employee, does the system automatically send some sort of email? No, it does not. But what we've given you the option of doing is if you go into your transaction preference, so that's your menu, your admin system setup, you have your transaction preferences here. You're going to see the option just under contact management. If you scroll down, there's going to be this welcome email message. You can type in whatever you want there. You have formatting. So similar to how several of the screens have formatting, like conversations, you have the formatting here as well. You can enter in whatever your email message is. And then once you've set that in transaction preference, whenever you're ready to send that out to either employees or contacts, you can check the box for whoever should get that email message. You go to your update, and if you scroll all the way down, there would be the send welcome email. This then triggers that email, whatever you put in that welcome email transaction preference, they're going to receive that. We do also have if you want to see an example of what that email looks like, if you go to the help guide and do the custom welcome email, there would be a example of what that looks like. So again, we do have that option of the email in here, or if you want to look at the whole help guide. Again, this is for your contacts in addition to your employees. So both will have that same option, and this guide kind of brings you to all of that information. Good so far. Any questions? Okay,
No, nothing so far.
great. Pretty simple. Okay, so the next one is going to be a campaign budget analysis report. A lot of people, most of my clients, utilize the project budget analysis. And if I get rid of this and go into here, you have your project budget analysis down here. A lot of clients use this. It's very customizable, great report to run just generally how we're doing for our projects. Well, now we have campaign budget analysis available as well. So a lot of people want more campaign information. They want more reports customizable for campaigns. So this campaign budget analysis is now campaign visible, gives you that visibility within to the projects, kind of similar how we have the project budget analysis set up. This follows the same rights. So if you guys aren't seeing it and you're not an admin, probably one of your admin has to give you access to this particular data set. But project budget analysis, now we have that campaign budget analysis that you can run for campaigns as well. Okay, next on the list is going to be some of the enhancements that we did for billing. So uh, mainly the billing worksheets. So you have billing worksheets. If you're utilizing those, you're familiar with the today billing, this particular section. I clicked on the generate to get here. There's a few more options within here that we added throughout the year. So who the approver is and a few of the search criteria. But in addition to that, whenever you do go and run whatever your search criteria is, and just remember you always have your show more, you have this search option here. This now gets separated out into the different buckets. And so it makes it a little bit easier to figure out which worksheets you want to work through or what each of the projects billing method is. So fixed fee, you have your campaigns, your retainers. So this just gives you the different buckets, which makes it a little bit easier to run through this particular option. It gives you those different buckets. So that's one of the major changes that we did within billing worksheets, just a few more search criteria, but then you also have the buckets that you can kind of toggle through. And of course, you can check options for each one, and you'll notice how many you've chosen within each bucket if you are looking at your heading for each one of those. And then, of course, you just work these as you typically would work your billing worksheets. Next option is going to be our project dashboards. So we did a webinar on this, I believe either last month or the month before it, but if you haven't enabled yours, then this is what it looks like. Instead of your projects looking in more of that kind of grid style where there was like two sides to it, you now have different widgets that you can have for your project. And it is going to be customizable, which is really nice because a lot of people want to move certain things, change certain things, or even by security group, edit some of those different items. And so now if you go and enable the dashboards, your view looks a little bit more like this. And so this is one of my projects. It is in that dashboard view. We gave you that option. You can have different toggles of different sections. I don't have anything in this test section. I haven't put anything in there yet, but you can kind of segment out or show what you want on each of your little tabs that you have here. And again, we did a webinar on it recently. So if you want to view the different options within there, because you can start doing reports in here as well. I don't think I have done any just yet, but you can go in and go through that worksheet or that webinar and or look at the help guide article for this to see what the different options are to getting this view set how you would want it. And again, some of it currently is going to be a admin only access right now as we continue to build this out. Currently, your admins are the only ones that can do this, but you have that edit dashboard, and that's so you can go in and adjust each of these sections in here. We will expand those rights in future updates. Any questions on the dashboards? The other part of this was themes. So obviously mine's in blue, whereas generally you were in a different view. So it was, oh, there it is, your platinum view. This is how most people have their Workamajig set is more of the grays and the blacks. So you do have those different views. It is still something that we are working on, so you will find some areas where maybe it's a little bit more difficult to see. But we have those three different options. My favorite is the Moody Blues. I find it just a little bit easier on the eyes. That was also one of the changes that we made this year. And again, we will continue to work through the different coloring schemes, add some different options, and fix some of the places where it might be a little bit harder to read. All right, the next one, which I really like because a lot of clients are asking about AI, is going to be AI Suggest. Now, this is pretty new. We're still working through adding AI in different places, but this is the one where we have fully brought it into the system. This is the credit card connector. So if you guys are connecting with Plaid or you're connecting your credit cards or at least bringing in your credit card charges, then AI Suggest is going to be one of those options. So where I am is going to be in your purchasing today page. That's where your credit card connector is if you have it. And if I have charges that are always coming through and we are typically putting it to a particular project and or expense item, something like that. You have this AI suggest. It only shows up when you've clicked the box. So if I don't have anything clicked, we don't see AI suggest. It's not in here because it's basically which option or which charges do you want to utilize it for. And then you have AI suggest and it'll go through and try and map those as best as possible. I haven't had those particular charges in my system yet, and so it didn't suggest anything, but that is what it'll do is try and map those to the appropriate places based off of your previous mapping of similar charges. So again, we will be continuing to look through and add different AI features within the system. The connector is definitely one where we added it. We've also added it for some API items still in labs, but we are bringing AI as much as we can into the system, and we'll continue to bring in that for future items. Okay, is there a question?
No, that you're fine.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, next one, or really the last one even, is going to be our conversations. So I am in the project. I added in a new conversation into the system. So within here, what we've done is these little at hashtags, exclamation points, and the money symbol. We're giving you the option of typing that in first, so it is quicker to search for different items. Otherwise, if you do type in into the system, it will go in and try and match up. So you don't have to click on the two, you don't have to click on a different toggle to kind of get to whatever bucket that person is in. You can just start typing in that too. Again, if you do at company, then it knows to look for a company. If you do the hashtag, it does bring into projects, exclamation is contacts, and then the Monday sign is the teams. But again, if you just start typing in that person's name, it will then bring up the search that you can utilize to instead of having to click the two. So a few less clicks, which we know is what clients are trying to do is get a lot less clicks in the system. So we are trying to make things a little bit faster for you. And so that was one of the features that we added in for conversations. So that is our list. Again, it's not exhaustive. You might have seen a few other small items in the system. We will continue to do these updates as we have kind of the bigger changes in the system. If there is anything that you want to know a little bit more about, again, I would try the help guide article first because we are writing those to be complete guides where you should have a general idea and see how to enable or work certain things in the system. But again, you're more than welcome to get training at workamajig.com. That'll go for your account manager. Or if you just have a general question, you could do that support@workamajig.com email, and that will go to your account manager to email, and you can respond back and forth through email. So, any questions on anything that we have gone over today?
Okay. I might also add, do you guys have any suggestions? Like, do you think this is a big ticket item? Without sending it in, just letting us know what areas are you looking for uh, more features or a change in a feature? Um, you can obviously send that in as an email, but if you do you have any current suggestions? I guess we're a quiet group today. So, okay. So we have a couple. So email tracking. Uh, Ava, thank you. What do you mean by email tracking? We do have an email log. We know who it got sent out to. Um, we always, so we do have, like I said, an email log that goes across it. More control over notifications need less deliverable emails. Um, I know we always go back and forth actually on the emails. Some people say we have too many, some people say we don't have enough. Uh, Almost all, until Ava gets on, if I send an email, I just want to know that if they opened it or not. Oh, okay, that type of like the empty pixel, so they can get that. Okay. Um, yeah, thank you. We'll take that aboard, see what we can do with that one. More control over notifications. So if maybe you go to the notifications and transaction preferences. So there's a couple of ways we handle those notifications, right? One would be it goes into the bell, right? So up in the bell, that's where they all go. Or do you want it to get it as email? So we tried to make it so, we're trying to balance that, but we do have it, you can get it via email or via the bell or one or the other, right? But they would definitely go out. Again, we usually say people then can filter it and make a decision on, they can put it into their own mailbox and decide what to do with them. But yeah, I mean, we're always trying to balance that. Let's see more. Okay. Yeah, as far as okay, using more color throughout the whole system. Yes, and that's one of the things that we're doing. Again, as you can see in this format, uh, getting those different themes and things like that. That's where we're trying to look at that coloring and make it more appropriate. Not sure how much we can, adjust it. Like, we give you a color wheel to make it instead of gray. I want to make that particular screen purple or something like that. Not sure how far that will go, but again, we're trying to add more themes to the system. Okay, thank you, Missy. In the project, would it be possible to add in the three dots to be able to move tasks up and down, like the in and out? The drag and drop is very challenging. Um, So I'm not sure where I would take that three dot and say move it up or move it down. Then I'd have to keep clicking move up, move down. Okay. Missy, can you maybe again, Missy, for you on this one, if you could please send us in maybe with a screenshot or maybe a a video of what you're having an issue with. I know sometimes it's when you drop it, it's like, is it a summary task or is it a detail task? And that is somewhat challenging. So if that's what that is, then yeah, just give us the issue that you're having, and we can take a look at that one for sure. Uh, it's nice to have an easier tagging. It's nice to have an easier tagging and commenting on individual tasks. Okay, thank you, Tiffany. So this is basically when I'm doing conversations on different tasks, and that can get a little messy, especially if you're assigned to multiple tasks. And is there a better way of kind of getting those together or whatnot? Again, if we're in the car view of, on my assignments, it's pretty clear, right? I click into my assignment, I see the conversations related to it. I click into a different assignment and I see the conversations related to that one. If I'm going in through the project, yes, again, if I'm going task by task, I can see that. There might be, again, a view where I have a whole full list of the conversations that kind of come out. But yeah, again, if you have some suggestions on how to better handle that and how it would look better, um, we're open to it.
Yeah, screenshots are definitely handy with your enhancement requests.
Yeah. Okay. It's not so much the themes, it's the overall program. It's important for me to have as much data being colored. Understood. Text formatting in the task description. I thought that was already there. Did we not put that in? So under a task description? Oh, okay. We just
No
have a single
formatting.
line. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Missy, if you just send in maybe the issue number with that you had before, thank you. And then I can take a look at it and we can move from there. Okay? Thank you. Appreciate it. Uh, okay. Thank you for the comment, Christina. Christiana, sorry. Oh, so okay, when you send out emails for when you say email a report, I don't think we have it in that spot, do we? So
I
like I
wouldn't
say
think
email it.
so.
We have the lookup for it. Yeah, you can just pick anything really and just say email it. Okay.
Yeah, so there's no lookup here.
So yeah, so we can see about looking at that.
Okay. Anything
Okay.
else?
Is there a way to display the delta between a baseline date and an actual date in a schedule? Um, in the schedule itself, so you're saying, I have my baseline. It was supposed to start on Monday, but it actually started on Wednesday, so it was a -2 or a +2 or something like that, if that makes sense. We don't have the deltas here, but we do have, for example, the project recap, which would be more after the fact, where it will show you what ones were late, early, over allocated. I think did you put that in the project recap?
I don't know if I have it on mine. Oh, I have a few of them.
I think it's that one. And so, yeah, if you just, again, the idea of this one, you can probably run it, hopefully.
It's gonna be big, maybe. Should have narrowed it down. Oh, that's not
There
too
we
bad.
go. So the idea of this one is more about the hours and things. Do know I have one for schedules, but again, just saying,
Well,
as you
here's
can see,
like due date on play on time.
yeah. So we do have that identification here. I take it that you're asking for it more in a live sequence. Um, we just have to take a look. On the Today Creative, the task card, the actual assignment, we do let people know that, things are late, right? So again, it turns red if it's late. We're saying, it's due on a particular day. Um, we also give, number of days, if that makes sense. So again, we do give quite a bit of information. I think when it's late, we actually say it's 2 days late or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Okay.
overdue. I think the word is overdue, 2 days overdue, maybe.
Yeah. Uh, coming with saying, okay. More information about the project recap would be amazing. So again, so again, the idea of that one is after the fact, you're kind of running it for either that client or that project. And the idea was just to see what happened. And it's actually formatted to show every task in order and say, what was my budget on that task? What was spent? How many hours were supposed to be on it? And did it start on time, end on time? That type of thing.
And I believe we have that as a one that you can export. Where do we put? Oh, yeah. Okay. So there are some that we have put that we've created. And so I believe it's in one of these, yeah, project recap report. So where I'm at is if you go into importing custom reports in your help guide, scroll all the way down, all like pretty much all the way down. And we have some that some of our account managers have created that we like, that we think clients would like to see. Project Recap is one of those. So what you do is you download it, it saves to your computer, and then you import it as a view. So if you have menu admin and let's see, menu admin import data, I think is what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, so import data, you can then import it as a view, and then it goes into your report center. And if you type in recap like I did in your search, then you can find it, and it's now a report that you have in your system.
And that's actually different from we have one that's a standard report that can't really be edited, but this one is pretty much the same thing, except now you can, manipulate it a bit more. Okay. Um,
Campaign
okay.
analysis is in your report center. If you type in campaign or if you go to project financial reports, it's there. If you don't see it, then you probably are not an admin, and either your admin has to give you rights or you have to give yourself rights if you have access to that section. What other information is shown in campaign snapshot? I don't know if I have one up, but so you have things like it starts out with the hours, so your current budget hours, your actual hours, your remaining budget hours, and then whatever currency, if you have currency enabled. The amounts would be things like what are your budgets from your campaign estimates, your change orders, your total approved budget altogether, your project actual billable, and then your remaining budget amount there. Obviously, I have not worked this campaign at all. And then what your billings are. Notice these are clickable. So if I did have something in here, I'd click down to drill down and see what those billings were.
Yeah, so this is not more the P&L. It's again just saying where's the project at? I have my project budget, and then when I'm starting to bill, which may come from the campaign or from the projects themselves, again that will kind of roll up to say this is how much has been billed. But typically, the campaign amount billed will be looking at campaigns that are set to say bill by campaign. That makes sense. Uh, yeah, as far as can you click on the options? That is just, if I'm not mistaken, the options is pretty uh straightforward. It's just basically say, do you want the unapproved transactions and do you want sales tax in it? So that's the same as on the project side. Okay. The only difference is, of course, we don't have the overhead part added into that, which tends not to make sense at this level at this point in time. But if we get enough people asking for that, then we would include uh, the overhead. But again, this one isn't showing more of the financial side. It's just more of the campaign itself as a snapshot. And the overhead is more for the P&L uh, panel that's in the project. Okay. I think, Brittany, can you go to like the security groups? So this is actually again, I just so over on the right. So you pick your security group if you're not seeing the project campaign or the campaign analysis, and then you click on the pencil icon over on the right. And these are the data sets, but it's actually not part of the data sets that you're giving. That's for like custom reports. It's all the way at the bottom. There's a report section, and that's where you're giving all of the different reports. And it tends to be if you see project budget analysis, if I'm not mistaken, that also gives you the campaign one. I don't think we separated those two out. Could be wrong though. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Yeah. So I believe if you have the project one, then you get the campaign one, was our kind of idea. Okay. Now, another thing for reports is we keep adding those in. Again, the budget analysis one, again, that is looking at that campaign budget analysis, is looking at all the individual projects that are associated with that campaign, grouped out by segment and then the campaign. So again, you can get an overall view of that information. It's not as controllable as the project level one, and that's just because of the information that we wanted to drag in. And on top of that, again, we wanted to make sure the roll-ups were correct. So if you go into like a report and you say, give me the campaign budget for every project, you're going to see that same campaign budget. So again, your budget is overinflated for that field. And so we wanted to make sure that that didn't happen. So again, that's part of a little bit of the control of not allowing everything to be done in that report, but again, gives you quite a bit of information. And most of it is click, you can drill down into it and click through to the transactions. Okay. Make sure we got everything. More information, project recap. And you just stepping back with Abby for the delta between it, yeah, if you wanted that in the schedule, then that's a little tougher. If you wanted it to be kind of more of a quick one, just like the project recap one, you wanted it to be more live, uh, just send that note in. I think I have one that would fit that. It'll give number of days later, earlier, whatnot. Okay. Text formatting. I don't think we missed anything.
So those that did send in suggestions, we have written those down. We'll add them to the list. But for those that were asking for more details, like screenshots, please do send those in and kind of give us a general idea of what and why also kind of helps us out, just so we know what you're trying to do. That's always information that we are looking to get in addition to what your wish is, but why you're wanting that as well. Some of them will make sense, but some they might be a little bit more detailed. So we like that more information as much as possible. Good.
Okay. I guess we can wrap it up. I guess.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. And again, if you have any suggestions, please feel free to send those in. And we built the system on your suggestions. to be honest, right? It's changed drastically from the time I first started here and it was Creative Manager Pro to what it is today. Okay. So again, it's always your suggestions that come in. So we look at all those. They're never put into the trash. It's like we review them. Are we getting more than one person asking for that? And then we will start to, oh, okay, yeah, it seems like this is a good idea. Let's go ahead and schedule that out to be added to the system. So again, your suggestions are always greatly appreciated. All right. Thank you, Brittany.
Thank you, David.
And I guess everybody will turn over a half hour to your time, to your day. Have a great rest of the day.